Hi there, my name is Suze, and I work with women to help them find real, true, deep emotional fulfillment in their lives. It's early morning for me here. I'm doing something different today, going outside of my norm just to see how it feels. Those of you who've watched my feminine energy tips of the day, I've talked about curiosity, right? And like not assuming that you know how something is going to feel or land, but being willing to go out and try something new to see if it actually works for you, right? Like stepping outside of the norm. So today I am doing my videos a little bit earlier in the morning than normal. I have my coffee here with me as well. So I'll probably be drinking that as we speak. And the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because I want to drop in a nugget right here before we get into the main course of the message for today. And that is that, what do your mornings look like? Who do your mornings belong to? And how do you move through your morning? And I know this is kind of complicated if you have kids, and I totally get it. I have kids. I understand. It's like the temptation is you instantly wake up, at least for me, you wake up and you instantly go into like mom responsibility mode of like, okay, like right now it's summertime, so this doesn't apply. But in the school year, it's like, okay, what am I doing for lunches? What am I doing for breakfast? Make sure you get this. Don't forget this. Get this happen by this. Don't forget to remind so. Like you go into that mom crazy responsibility mind. Or maybe it's the summertime. Maybe things are a little bit more relaxed. And maybe, in the mornings, you're not intentionally setting yourself up for success in the day, right? And it's more of just instantly allowing the outside world to influence you. And this can be really, really subtle because, the temptation is like for a lot of us, you go to sleep and maybe your phone is right there next to you on your bedside table, right? Like it is for me because it just works for me. And I know some people say not to do that, but for me it works. So it is what it is. So you go to sleep and your phone is probably close to maybe next to the bed. And so the instant thing is you get up, you grab your phone, and maybe there's text messages, or maybe you want to check your emails. But all of that is outside energy outside of you that has the potential of affecting and influencing and impacting your energy and where you will go and what you will create in your day. Because who knows what can of worms or what Pandora's box may hold for you with your emails and your text messages and your missed calls and who knows what else. your messages on Instagram, I don't know, whatever the thing is, right? Are you quickly allowing outside energies to come in when you are fresh in the morning? Or are you allowing yourself a sense of spaciousness to set yourself up for success for the day, to really see where you are? What is on your heart and on your mind today? What do you intentionally want to create energetically? What kind of environment or world energetically do you want to create for the day? What kinds of feelings are important for you to value and uphold and keep coming back to as your centering point throughout the day? And so on that, in the spirit of all of that, the next few videos because I always do I record a series of videos and then space them out on YouTube. I'm doing this earlier in the morning so that, again, same thing. I'm in a space where I don't have my kids today, so I was able to wake up, completely quiet house, just me and my cat. It's the only outside influence I have is my cat currently. So I think we're safe. So I really am just, let's pour my heart out on YouTube and let my truth go out into the world from a space of my own light and my own spaciousness and my own love, my own journey. And then I'll call the best friend, because usually we talk in the mornings. I just saw 444 on the timer, by the way, confirmation. And then I'll call the best friend. And then maybe I'll look at X, Y, and Z on my phone. But for now, This is my time. And I'm loving the light here this morning too. I know it's like kind of bouncing off me. I hope it's not making too much of a glare for you, but the light right now is just, I feel it's just luminous in this little corner, my little work corner here. I absolutely love it. I'm gonna take some coffee. I feel like I still have a little bit of my morning voice because this is the first I've talked today is here with you. So again, getting personal here, I gotta be honest, totally transparent. There has been a subject matter that several times in the past few years I have been really feeling a nudge from spirit, from my intuition, a topic of conversation that I have really been nudged to speak about. And it's something that is intense and can be controversial and is often loaded with shame. And so being in a space in the past few years of not yet coming into enough confidence with myself to take on this responsibility and to put myself out there full well knowing of the potential negative repercussions, and I mean negative repercussions in a very general, loose way, because it's never really negative. It's only perceived as negative, correct? But I had to build up some confidence. And I've known, honestly, I have known for years in my heart that this is something that I needed to speak about, but I wasn't quite yet ready until this year. And the timing of it all is just fascinating. And this is where I get absolutely fascinated with divine timing and the divine order of things and the seasons of life and the process of the journey and how everything has a season and how we don't honor the full extent of each season. And we have a tendency as humans to want to rush into the next season. But if you're not truly ready and you haven't really had the fullest awareness of this current season and really juiced out the opportunities and the lessons and felt all of the highs and the lows and learned what you needed to learn from the highs and the lows and expanded your confidence and sense of self and self-worth, you're not going to step into the new season and get all the benefits of it if you haven't fully worked with the other season that comes before. And a lot of this is, I blame our society, right? Particularly here in America. And again, I feel justified to speak on this subject because I lived outside of the United States for 3 years. So I got to see how America is very different than other cultures are. And the thing that I came back after living 3 years away and coming back to the US, the thing that was like, it was almost like culture shock for me, coming back into my own country of the United States. It was almost like I experienced culture shock in the stark contrast of instant gratification and convenience, level of convenience and instant gratification that our American culture has evolved into. And how you want it and 5 seconds later you have it. Like literally. You want it, you put it in the microwave and 2 minutes later it's done and you can eat it. You want it, Amazon delivers it tomorrow. It's like everything has gone hyper speed in the world of America. And of course, I'm speaking of America because this is the one I'm the most familiar with. But if you're listening elsewhere, you take it however it applies for you, whether it's relevant or not. And the country that I came from before was very, very different than that. Very different. And so I think that was an amazing experience for me of recognizing how this instant gratification thing is really gypping us of the fullest extent of our experience and understanding the cycles. And then what happens, right? Because why is that such a big deal? Because emotionally, think of it in the emotional sense, right? Because that's what this all comes back to, is finding a life that feels really deeply, truly, authentically, emotionally fulfilling. We get frustrated, right? We get frustrated when something doesn't happen fast enough, right? Or in the spiritual world of manifestation, and this is something that I really realized was my probably my biggest hang up and struggle around manifestation in general, is not understanding the length of time that manifestation takes, and in the time that it takes, of holding the steady, consistent, reliable energy of faith and trust that it is coming, and that it will take as long as it takes, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. But having the faith and trust in myself and in my inner knowing, intuitive knowing, I don't mean head knowing, intuitive knowing, heart knowing, the deeper self, the true self knowing, and the communication with the divine, the trust in the divine that it is coming. And this, I want this thing for a reason. And if I want this thing that is good and whole for me, then there's a reason why I want it, and it is intended to be mine. And it is therefore my only job in this communication and relationship with the divine, with spirit. It is my only job to hold steady my energy and my vision and my faith and my trust that it is coming, and I am consistently every day aligning myself with it. There's nothing instant gratification about that. There definitely is not. I'm having trouble with my pillow today. Sorry, guys. So this whole thing, I'm now 12 minutes in. This whole discussion today has turned into something completely different, but clearly this is what needed to come out today. So here we are. And I have to show you guys my mug. I got lipstick on it, so don't mind me. But it says True Love. This is my favorite mug. It says True Love. It has a pale pink inside, which pale pink is like my favorite color ever. That's another thing, took me a lifetime to embrace, that pink is my favorite color and I hold no shame, and I don't care if people think it's too girly or too whatever. I don't care. Pink is my favorite color. So, all of this to say, breaking a lifetime of shame. I think we're going to have to do a part 2. Clearly, we're going to have to do a part 2. Breaking a lifetime of shame. Shame around the color pink, for one thing. And of course, it's a dumb example, but it is what it is. What is the thing in your life that is like your dirty little secret, right? And you wish that people understood about you, or the self-sabotaging habit that you know that you keep falling into and you can't seem to find your way out of it, and you don't know why it's such a big deal to you, because it shouldn't be such a big deal to you, and you just want to get over it, but you can't seem to get over it. And no matter how many times you try different ways of overcoming this thing that you wish, this habit, this pattern that you wish you just couldn't fall into, no matter what you do, you keep falling into it. And you hold so much shame then therefore around it, right? And a lot of us, again, shame, I've talked about this, the same with anxiety. I've learned in working with women and emotions and energy that so many times shame is at the core of a problem, and it's not even recognized by the other person on the end of the conversation that they are shaming themselves, or they're allowing themselves to be emotionally manipulated by someone else who's casting their shame on them, projecting their shame, and speaking to them in a way that is actually imposing shame energy on the person, and they don't even know it. You know, years ago when I was working with clients, this was one of my things that I really was proud of myself in the right way, proud of myself about, was how sensitive I was, and still am, clearly, how sensitive I was with clients and smelling out shame in them when they didn't even recognize they were shaming themselves or holding themselves in a prison of shame around a particular thing in their life, whether it was a thought, an emotion, a pattern, a thing, whatever thing. Shame is so often flies under the radar, and people don't even know they're in a space and energy of shame, and then wondering why it's such a struggle and there's so much resistance. So I feel like I want to leave this video here for now. I will do a part 2 of breaking out of a lifetime of shame, because it's a very layered thing. But this channel is going to be moving into a new direction, and that was really my intention with this video, was for this video to be an introduction into setting a new intention for the direction of this channel. And if my message is not for you, you are free to go. Because I really am only here to be speaking to the souls, the collective that needs the wisdom that I have learned, that needs the discernment that I have learned throughout my life's journey, that has a similar life story of mine, of the same struggles and heart's desires and frustrations in life, and looking for someone to help empower them, uplift them, and getting out of this lower vibrational frequency place and moving into a liberated place, which liberation clearly is total emotional fulfillment. It's all about the liberation. Liberation has been a huge word for me for years. And there is so much speak out there about freedom and liberation, but I am seeing how the perception and the definition of that word or words, freedom, liberation, is still very limited and misunderstood. So I'm going to be continuing this conversation, and this is entirely wrapped around anxiety. And that's why I did do so many videos in the past, I don't know, I think it's roughly the past month, around anxiety, to create a foundation and groundwork for me to then build the next layer of the house on. The foundation has been laid as anxiety and childhood emotional neglect. That foundation has been laid as the root of the problem of lack of emotional fulfillment and dissatisfaction emotionally with your life, and just that little annoying little thing picking at you, telling you that something's not right emotionally in your life, or something's not fulfilling you, something's not right. That little voice plagued me for years. Oh my word, years, right? So I've laid the foundation. Childhood emotional neglect and anxiety, which results in anxiety in adulthood, is the root of all the problems, the root of all the sins of my particular message of where I'm going in my soul mission and what I'm giving to the world. I've laid that foundation. Now it's time for the next layer of this house and legacy, this mansion that I believe that I'm here to create. I hope this video helped. Thank you so much for being here and listening. I am sending all the love and peace and comfort to you all, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.